Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlos Diaz,
And I'm Thomas Carranza.
and the name of our application is Where Are You At? And it's an application for an iPhone.
So, first of all, thank you everybody for coming and for your support, and also everybody who's also online joining us right now. So what problem we are trying to address is when you're at concerts, sometimes it's difficult to try and find your friend. Sometimes signal is bad. You can't figure out where they are. So that's what we were trying to solve. And what we decided on creating is a CSUMB version of how to find your friend, basically. And so.
Alright, so the solution for this problem was, of course, since we needed to, of course, have a way to locate the actual person that needs to be found, we started by creating a relational database where everything was going to be, of course, stored. The second portion to the solution was, to, of course, to implement the world where this information was going to be shown. And that's where all the 3D came in hand. We actually, the CSUMB was mapped, and of course, that's where the user information was going to be displayed. Finally, of course, once we were able to, of course, store everything from the user, we showed it on the actual 3D world. The way we did this, actually, since it was quite a big project, we had to split it into two sections, the front end and also the back end. On the back end, actually, furthermore, had to split it up into two other sections, mainly because the iPhone itself does not support native support to connect to external databases. So to begin with the actual process, we had to once again create the back end of the actual web service, which was composed of PHP, JSON, and of course SQL. PHP and JSON were used to actually to parse all the data so they could then be handed to the iPhone itself, and then of course view your friend's location. From here on the phone side version, we of course had to learn how to use Xcode and the programming language that iOS uses, which is Objective-C. All of this has to be learned from scratch, since of course it's the first time we're touching the iOS portion. Once that backend was fully done, had to learn a little bit of C#, mainly because on the front end, all the 3D models are of course communicate through a program called Unity. And in order for Unity to talk to the iPhone, it needs to create a little translation portion between Objective-C and C#. And that's how I was able to handle past information to the 3D world.
And where everything unites is this program called Unity, and it's a game engine. And so what we were able to do is implement a GPS mesh onto a accurate map of the school. I had to create all the 3D models, make sure it's all accurate, and what we basically were aiming to do was to basically be able to find your friend at the school, and then go to that location to see where they're at.
The tools that we used to make this happen, once again, was since unfortunately you can only program for the iOS on a Macintosh, so we ended up using 2 MacBook Pros, as well as of course 2 human brains to make all of this happen. And in the programs that we use was Xcode, Unity, and Maya, which are all kind of intertwined together to make this happen in here. And what we learned.
So at the beginning of all this, we had a great foundation from everything that we've learned through our classes, but also we had to really dig deep and try to learn at least about like 3 or 4 different languages for creating this project. And so what we learned is project management, also how to create a project proposal, thank you. And how to manage your time and how to create a product in the end. It may not be exactly what you'd like, but to create something and be very proud of it, and have something for the user.
And finally, the other things on the knowledge portion came in handy. Learning Objective-C, JSON, and SQL from scratch was actually a little bit of a challenge. But that was the main purpose of this project, to go out and learn something new and then implement it on our project. So it was definitely, even though it was a little bit hard at certain times, it was really rewarding at the end when you get to see your program actually run.
Nice. So thank you very much for your time. And if you'd like to visit our project and test it out and see what we're all talking about, you can visit our poster session in 164, and it's just down the hall.